Let's go. The campfire chat.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Welcome to the Diablo 4 Campfire Chat.
Oh shit.
Welcome to BlizzCon 2023. Wow, this is crazy. This is awesome, seeing so many people. Very, very different than our streaming studio back in the office for sure. But thank you all for joining us on a very special version of Diablo's Campfire Chat. We kicked off this program as a live stream, as you all know. And it's an amazing feeling to see us actually do this here in front of a live audience now at BlizzCon. We have some news to share with you, and before we get into it, I do want to welcome and learn more about our wonderful panelists here for today's Campfire Chat. So let's go right into it. Brent. Hi, everybody. This is Brent's first time up here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Wardrobe.
I know.
Look, it's for a very good reason.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Green
Break a
for-
little color
for-
tradition up here.
Green for Diablo.
Yeah, so my name is Brent Gibson. I'm an associate game director on Diablo 4. I was a part of the Vicarious Visions team that came together with Team 3 a couple years ago to make Diablo 4. And I'm really excited to be up here today to talk a little bit about the expansion coming up.
Yes, the expansion. Ooh.
Love you too!
Now, I know we have multiple teams, Brent,
Yes.
that are working on Diablo 4. So, and you yourself are going to be talking specifically about the expansion here today. So yeah, it's great to hear that, we have multiple groups working on the game for Diablo 4.
But we're all one big team, which is the exciting part.
Yeah, very, very big team. And of course, based off of community feedback and everything that we've heard, those groups are going to be working on seasons and upcoming items, and then of course the expansion that we have here. Next up, though, we actually have Tiffany, who's going to be talking here.
Actually,
Do we have? No, we do.
Oh, hey, I'm Tiffany. Yeah, Tiffany. I was not pausing for applause. I'm just awkward. But this is my 14th BlizzCon. It's my 9th as an employee. I first attended as a part of the community in 2005, so it's really special to be up here. I've worked on the Diablo franchise for 12 years now, starting on Diablo 3 12 years ago, and then moving on to Diablo 4 for the past years. Brent and I actually unknowingly worked on the same game back in 2009, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Yeah, that game is awesome.
It's a big throwback.
So it's been such a thrill to work with him and a bunch of the others from the Albany office, again, on Diablo for the past few years.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffany. We have Kaylee Calder here. Kaylee is actually a familiar face in the Diablo side. You may have seen her in some of the videos for our seasons and everything. Kaylee?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Kaylee Calder, and I am one of the lead game producers on Diablo 4. Like Tiffany and a lot of our team, I have been working on Diablo for the last 10 years across both Diablo 3 and Diablo 4. This is my first time on stage at BlizzCon, so while I am so honored, thank you. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. I'm a little nervous, but it's so good to see everyone in person. And I'm really excited to talk to you all today about some changes coming to Season 2, some additions, and other future developments.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaylee. And of course, we have Mr. Joe Shelley here, a very familiar face on all our Diablo 4 Campfire Chats.
Damn, he looks old now.
Joe, welcome again.
Thank you, Adam. And
Holy.
thank all of you. I really want to thank all of you for being here and submitting questions. We're going to take questions at the end. And really, for all the feedback that you've given us throughout the launch of the game and Season 1, it's incredible to have a Campfire Chat, but with this huge array of other attendees at our campfire. So it's incredible.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Joe. And of course, I am Adam Fletcher. I'm the Director of Community for Diablo. So weird with an audience. And I will be today's host and moderator. I want to thank you all again for taking the time to join us on this very special Diablo 4 Campfire chat. And I do also want to give a huge call out to this amazing plush campfire that we did bring in for this. I joked it's got very soft lighting. There we go, first pun of the day. We're doing well. But to kick off activities, I know the dev team, they do actually have some news to follow up regarding yesterday's announcements. So let me actually pass it off to the team. So, Brent?
Yeah, we're really excited to show the sneak peek for the next chapter of Hatred. We've been on pins and needles to share some of the information from the expansion for a very long time. And it's going to be taking us to a brand new place. And it's really cool because it's actually in contrast to that dark Gothic setting that we're used to seeing in the main game. We're going to go to some place that has a bit of a different flavor. So for those of you who are new to the franchise, it's going to be new, it's going to be fresh. But for
I wonder if
some of
the
you who've
sound
been
is
with us
fucked
all
or is it
along,
me?
we're going to go take a
Well, I
trip
can.
down memory. But for some of you who've
Oh yeah,
been with
okay.
us all
It's the
along,
audio
we're going to go take a trip down memory lane
from
and
the live
actually
stream.
go to a place
Okay.
that's a little nostalgic. So with that being said, let's take a look.
I didn't hear what he said.
We have each played a part in what has happened here. You abdicated your choice to this child. And with every step she takes, I grow stronger. There will be no salvation in the light.
Salvation in the light. Oh fuck my voice.
There we have it. It's so cool to see on the big stage, you know, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred coming in late 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, Brent, what does an expansion mean for Diablo 4?
Well, first off, I want to talk a little bit about breaking the color convention. You've been giving me
I've got green shoes
all
on.
sorts of grief over my green jacket. I like the green. Yeah, so for us, expansions are important because it's
It
great
makes money,
opportunity to take
that's why.
one big cohesive step forward. You know, when it comes to
That's why it is
continuing our
important.
dark story, exploring the new region we're going to talk about today, or even new ways to play with new monsters and a new class. We want to make sure that all of these things go together in a really nice way. And I've been joking for a little bit about how this is kind of like making a really good burger, right? You want to make sure that you're pulling in all of the ingredients that you need so that when they all come together and you take one big bite, all those flavors are working together. And so for us, that cohesiveness is really important.
So you say burger. There are a lot of variations of burgers. There's like single burgers or like maybe a double from In-N-Out or something like that.
So hungry now.
Yeah. What
You know,
have
coming from
yeah.
Albany, In-N-Out, I'm down. That's great.
So what kind of burger is this year?
That's a good question. You know, I guess I look at it as kind of like a bacon barbecue burger with all the classic ingredients, but with like jalapenos, right? Like throw something in that's a little bit spicy, a little bit different.
And
so
a
you
little
have
bit green.
And a little bit green, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Apparently.
So yeah, we want to make sure that we have all the nice traditional ingredients that speak directly to the core of our audience, but we're also offering things that are new.
Awesome. Well, I know with Vessel of Hatred, a new expansion, there's going to be some story and lore kind of attached to it. And let's kind of talk a little bit more about story. What do you think, Tiffany?
Yeah, so when we last left off in the main campaign, Nerel was traveling south with the stone with Mephisto. He got himself trapped in there again, as you know he tends to do. She's been following the footsteps of a prophet of light, looking for a way to deal with this stone and the prime evil that's trapped within. And she's a really fascinating character because she's a child, but she's been through a ton of trauma, so spoilers if you haven't played the main campaign of Diablo. But here she is directly challenging the influence of a prime evil, something the Haradrim have always famously failed at. So for players that might be jumping into Diablo 4 for the first time with the Vessel of Hatred, they'll have the choice to either play through the main campaign or jump directly into the new chapter. There will be a recap in the game, so you'll have full context to all the events of Sanctuary that played out in the main campaign. So don't worry, you won't miss out on anything if you want to just see what's happening with Neyrelle and explore those jungles. All right, I love this picture. He's real creepy. It looks like he's coming out of a mud bath of sorts. So this is Mephisto. Now, he is my favorite primeval. I think he's just a badass. If you don't know who he is the Lord of Hatred, and he is the father of Lilith. So I believe that makes him
I wonder if Lily
Granddaddy
will come back
Granddaddy of Sanctuary.
in the future.
Something like that, yeah.
Sounds grouchy too.
So Mephisto did not intend to be trapped in the stone. Like I said, they're very bad at that. It tends to happen. So he's, as you heard in the trailer, every step of the way that Neyrelle is taking with him, he is pushing against her, constantly trying to unravel every single moment that they have together. It's in this next chapter in Vessel of Hatred, we're going to find out what is his fate with this stone and what's going to happen with Neyrelle.
Yeah, so with Vessel of Hatred, you know, we even saw it a little bit in the teaser. It seems like we're actually going to be, it's going to be taking us to a new place. I know you guys have actually mentioned Nahantu. Can you tell us a little bit more about Nahantu, Brett?
Yeah, so we're going to a whole new region called Nahantu. Now, for those of you guys who know the history of Sanctuary, you know that heading south actually means going to Torjan. When we started off with the expansion, we decided as a team to really think about how we're referencing cultures moving forward. And for those of you who may not know, the Torjan people are a real people. And they're an amazing culture. They have beautiful traditions. You should totally look it up. But for us as creatives, we want to make sure that we're always in a position where we're being inspired by, as opposed to lifting from. And so because of that, we decided to review some of our names and make some changes.
So how are we kind of doing this in game?
We've actually
Bro,
decided
the
to
sound
build it
for
in
this
creative.
one is not good.
So for those
Holy
of the
fuck.
people who are outside of the region, you know, maybe you were from the Dry Steppes, you know this place as Torjan. But the people who are there know it as Nahantu. And so you're going to see that folded into the story in some really creative ways to give that name some power.
Awesome. I know we have a lot of cool architecture, like right here, we're seeing kind of what looks to be like a river gate.
Yes, so everything starts here at the river gate. We look at Nahantu as a place that's been closed off from Sanctuary. It's been closed off from all the things that have been going on with Lilith over the last several moments of our story. And so you can imagine this monolithic statue where the doors have been closed for the last several decades, and now they're open. And we're going to see what happens with Neyrelle as she passes through these gates.
Oh shit! Everything is about
If you look at this next image, we
crazy
like
here.
to look at the jungle as this place that is a wild and dangerous place. We also love the idea that it's a living, breathing character of its own. It has its own personality. It expresses itself in different ways throughout the game. And so this concept is a really good example of where things from the outside may have come in, but the jungle's going to reclaim it, right? So you're going to see these branches pulling back some of the architecture that you would see through the region. But for the things that have been there all along, it's going to live symbiotically with, and so you can watch the river flow through the structures of the area as well.
You know what? This is actually one of my favorite concept pieces that we've made for the expansion so far, because even though it's an environmental scene, it really just shows the depth and scale of the jungle, which is not really like a place we've ever gone to before within Diablo 4 so far. And it really inspired the team as well when they saw it, just that feeling of like scale and age, I guess, is a good way to describe that.
The idea that these roots are so old that they stretch across the chasms in the area. You can see there's a very small character in the middle of that branch.
Very hard to see.
It creates a sense of scale that allows us to do a lot with the environment, right? So it's not just trees in the area. These trees are actually fixtures or structures of the place as well.
You know, we've seen a lot of environments, and I know there's a lot of also architecture here in Nahantu. So can you show us a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, so this is a great image that starts to show how we wanted to integrate a lot of the natural features of the world in with the architecture. And so you can see the river is flowing with and around this piece right here. All of this starts from a place called Kurast. So for those of you who've been with us for a while, Kurast is an iconic place that sits in the heart of the jungle. And it's not just a town, it's not just a capital, it's a
The
sprawling
sound.
city. So you can imagine a lot of these structural elements popping up all over the place, spreading across the entire jungle. And this is just one piece that shows the potential of that. If you take a look at this next one, I love this. This is one of my favorite concepts of the entire package. This is a perfect example on how we're folding in that living, breathing jungle into the architecture. I got to give a huge shout out to the team. The level of detail that we put into this is absolutely incredible. They pay attention to our environments just as much as one of our characters. So all the detail that we put into Lilith or Inarius is the same amount of detail as you would see in a piece like this. So big shout out to the team for what they can do.
Yeah.
So I know you shared a little bit about like Kurast, and you know it's a very recognizable place, like or in the Diablo history. Like, can you get into a little bit more detail for us of like some of these maybe recognizable places that we'll kind of come across?
Yeah, I love to talk about these next few concepts here. So I was a big player of Diablo 2 myself, so you may recognize some of these places. We keep talking about bringing you back somewhere nostalgic. So we're going to start with the dock towns. So you can visit the original Kurast docks from D2 in Act 3. And through time, it's changed. It's been 72 years since the events of Diablo 2 in the world of Sanctuary. It has been 72 years in real life. So I'm excited to jump in there and see what the denizens have been up to, see if there's anybody that's still around from the past 72 years. And like Brent and Kaylee were saying earlier, a concept piece like this really gives me this incredible sense of scale in the world of Sanctuary, and I'm super excited to explore areas like that. We know that locations like this really set the tone for successfully delivering on that nostalgia and embracing that legacy of the Diablo universe. So the capital Kurast is something that we've always wanted to know more about. So this is a clip that's actually from the teaser that we've showed you a couple times now. And this is that incredible ziggurat with really, really creepy Grandpa Mephisto talking over it. So we've always wanted to know what's under the ziggurat. What's amazing about this is that for the dev team, this is one of the earliest sources of inspiration when we started working on the expansion. And so seeing it make all the way from original concept into the actual teaser that we showed this weekend is really exciting. So we've got one more really, really cool place to show you. So this is the temple city of Travancore, and it's where the Horadrim originally imprisoned Mephisto in his soul stone. It's deep inside Kurast, and I am so excited to go in there and see what's happened in the last 72 years. Joe, what do you think?
I hope I don't get slowed by hostile blizzards again. But it's going to be really cool to dive under Travancore and sort of revisit that area. It's such a memorable area from B3.
Yeah, Travancore was super memorable. Act 3, everyone remembering as they're fighting the council there. So it's great that we can revisit that here in Vessel of Hatred. And of course, a big question I know that people have with Vessel of Hatred, does that mean a new class is coming? Brent, do you have any more info that you can share potentially?
I'm sure a few of you have been on Reddit asking questions about the new class. It's the #1 question we've been getting all week. You know, when we started off, we were still making the main game. And I'm really proud of the fact that we delivered 5 classic classes, right? We got that great feeling of all of them spread around the campfire. It felt really, really good. And so when we're talking about the expansion, we had a decision to make. We're kind of at a crossroads of, do we do another classic, or do we do something new? And the team really thought about it hard, and we felt we have a responsibility to actually bring new things to Sanctuary. Like, this game is really big, this world is very big, we need to continue to broaden it, and so we made the choice to go with something new.
So you're saying new here, and we're seeing a lot of jungle environments, obviously.
Yes.
So does that for sure rules out something like the Witch Doctor?
Yes, that for sure rules
Yeah,
out.
it's absolutely a brand new class. It is not the Witch Doctor.
All right. We've been hearing a lot of like, it might still be the Witch Doctor. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we said new class. So awesome. That was great that we got to see kind of like, and get a little bit more information about Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. Again, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred is coming out in late 2024. We'll actually have more news next summer about Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. Green.
Green.
It's great.
Going green.
I'm glad you're color coordinated for this, Brent. So, but we do want to talk more about some of the other items that we talked about in the opening ceremony yesterday. And so, Joe, I know, wants to talk a little bit about season 2 and what's coming forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we've had, as I said here
Season of
earlier
Blood.
when I welcomed all of you, we've had so much community feedback, and it's been incredible for us to be able to release season 2 and bring a lot of those changes to you. And I think we have a roadmap here. You know, you can see here that on the Season of Blood, some of the things that we brought with Season of Blood. If you haven't played since launch or since season 1, you'll be able to check out the new boss ladder, leveling, 40% faster leveling, right? The changes, thank you. That was all me, no. We have an incredibly talented team of system designers who care deeply about the player experience and the feeling of movement through the levels and being able to capture the objective of reaching level 100, right? And so that change was something that we thought was really important. in season
November
2.
7th.
But we also changed things
Today
like
is
the way that
3rd
item
or
power
something like
scales,
that?
right? So
4th.
that as you
I
fight
might
more
play
difficult
this.
monsters, you can get more powerful loot, including some of those uber uniques from Duriel.
Yes.
And so many other quality of life changes. The mount, I think, is transformed. And
Wait, what?
that's not all we have in store for
Transforms
season 2.
to
Like
what?
we were talking about in the opening ceremonies, we made some announcements, and we want to get into more detail about those here today. And a little bit of a sneak peek at, you can see here, season of, I'm going to say the orange text.
Yes, that's definitely a final name.
Yeah.
Final
Ship
name. No, we're not quite ready to release the season name, but we have a sneak peek of one of the features coming with leaderboards and the gauntlets. So we're really excited to talk about those. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, so we're gonna kick things off with some updates to season 2 that are coming really, really soon. Literally this coming Tuesday, November 7th, we are gonna be adding new unique rings, which were called the Malignant Rings. Developing seasons is an opportunity for us to look for ways to bring things back that you, our players, really enjoyed and really engaged with. It doesn't mean that we'll bring things back from every season, but we will look for opportunities, especially when the community is letting us know how much they enjoyed it. And also, we also had a lot of fun with these. This also is an opportunity for us to kind of revisit those powers because these are coming not just on to the season, but also to the Eternal Realm. So these powers you're about to see on these rings, we've tweaked them slightly so that they work with the other uniques in the game. But we feel they're really gonna add something for each class and kind of continue on building their kit and that fantasy. You're going to be able to get these by defeating Varshan, so I hope everyone's been saving their materials. You do have a little bit of time to farm more if you didn't. So yeah, with that said, we're actually going to move to the next image, and we're going to take a look at these. So I originally was going to talk to Brent about his rogue, but when we started doing this, he saw the Barbarian ring and switched on me.
I'm sorry. I
Just
threw
the
whole
worst.
thing.
But so for our rogues out there, for those of you, if use your subterfuge skills. It's going to spawn a decoy. It's going to taunt enemies, and then it's going to explode for a really nice amount of damage. Think you're going to have a lot of fun. Adam, this is for you and the rest of the sorcerers out there.
Yes, Ball Lightning Crew. Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe this will, you'll try something a little different than just ball lightning. For the sorcerer, each unique element that you deal damage with is going to give you increased damage, and then dealing elemental damage again is just going to refresh that duration. So, sling fireballs, lightning, lightning ball as well, and keep increasing that damage. We have 3 more classes to take a look at. So next up now is the Barbarian. So for our Barbarians out there, when you use, there you are, I knew you were out there somewhere. When you next cast Hammer of the Ancients, Upheaval, or Death Blow, it's guaranteed to be a crit. And that crit's gonna deal bonus critical strike damage as well.
Okay, crit and crit.
Exactly, so hit them hard and hit them often, guys. And I definitely know there's a few druids out there, you guys who don't want to forget about you. Exactly.
Holy.
Druids got the loudest crowd
I
here.
know, represent druids. So for druids, when you are casting your ultimate skill, it is going to draw enemies in and deal a huge amount of damage based on your willpower. It will do that when you cast your ultimate and then 5 seconds after. And then lastly, the Necromancer.
Necromancers, rise up! That's right.
There's actually 3 Necromancers up here because 3 of us are playing it this season. Total coincidence. So we all love this power. We know everybody else loved this. So we are bringing back that walking near your corpses is going to automatically activate one of the following skills, which is Corpse Tendrils, Corpse Explosion, or Raised Skeleton. So yeah, that is... that's going to be the Malignant Rings, and as we said, you're going to be able to get them from Killing Varshan starting on November 7th. So next week, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaylee. And again, we're super excited about bringing in these malignant powers from season 1. Thanks to community feedback and you guys actually wanting these powers back in, we were able to get these in these new rings that will be coming out on Tuesday. And again, patch notes actually are going to be available on Diablo4.com for that patch immediately after this panel. So you guys can actually see what's in that update for players on Tuesday, which is awesome to see. So, but we do also have some more information to talk about.
Even more stuff.
Yes, we have some more events taking place in early December. Kaylee is going to jump right in.
I'll kick us off. Yeah, December 5th is our next update for season 2. And we've got some additional updates coming in, some quality of life things, and then something Joe is going to talk about. But I'm going to talk about some additional changes to the Occultist. Chris mentioned this yesterday in opening ceremony. So for those of you who may not know, enchanting is what allows you to replace an affix on an item with another. And those that are familiar with it will notice when you go and visit from December 5th, there is a new view affix, possible affixes button. I can't remember it. Yeah, view possible affixes. And when you click on that, it's going to give you a list of the affixes that one could roll into. So that way you're not kind of just blindly guessing and hoping that the one you've picked is going to give you. We think this update, along with the gold changes we have made, is really going to help everybody optimize their builds and continue to have fun in the end game. We have also heard feedback about affixes and how some of them aren't serving you in the ways you want. We do have plans to talk about both changes to affixes and itemization in the future, but we're not quite ready to talk about it right now.
Yeah, that's right. This is a really important change, and itemization is one of the, itemization and endgame are the 2 things that we're laser focused on right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about that right up here next with Avatar Zir.
Yeah, and you know, it's awesome to see these occultist changes because obviously community feedback has been, we've heard you guys like that you know, blindly choosing different affixes has been very, very difficult, but with the changes with the cost plus this will be much better, and this update, of course, hitting on December 5th. But other feedback that we've heard a lot about, and Joe knows this as well, has been about endgame. And so I know you wanted to talk a little bit about a new kind of endgame feature that's coming in season 2. So Joe, yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, so we want to add more endgame, and then we want to add some more endgame, and then
Some more?
we're going to add more endgame.
Yeah, we're going to add some more after
That's
that.
right.
Okay,
That's
okay,
right.
yeah,
Okay. And in particular, permanent or evergreen endgame features that extend the challenges and reward opportunities from 50 to 100 and after you've reached 100. And so Avatar of Zir is a 100 plus new thing that we're trying here. This is a seasonal endgame event. So it's temporary, and we're really interested in paying attention to how all of you run through it and your feedback on it for the future of, maybe we'll bring it back. We'll see how it goes. But you probably want to know more about it than just staring at this red portal, right? We have a chart that used to be on a napkin, but
It's very beautiful.
This is when you work with a bunch of designers, they like to make these little flow charts, and then they hand them to you on a napkin, and they go, "Can you make them pretty so we can show them to people?"
Yeah.
So, designer flow charts.
Paint for life. So you can see here how the flow of Avatar of Zero will work. After you complete the final step of the season journey, you'll be ready to face off against the Avatar. And this is a very, very difficult area. You're going to need to bring all of your skill, but also you're going to need to bring the very best builds.
Or is this for
Not
later,
every build is
like
going to be able
December?
to succeed in Avatar Zero. And that's why it's positioned like after you've really defeated Echo of Lilith, you've defeated Duriel, you've got your Uber Uniques, and you're like, what's next? What's the next challenge, right? And the Avatar is meant to be that. So you're going to get a recipe for the first tier of Avatar of Zero. When you complete that first tier, you're going to get a recipe for the next tier. And I want to state that there are 25 tiers of Avatar of Zero. And that's fewer tiers than there are of Nightmare Dungeons. But each tier of the Avatar is much more difficult than the tier before. This is not the same as Nightmare Dungeons 70 to 71. And you're also going to get a ton of Paragon Glyph XP. So I know some people have expressed that it can be hard to level up all your glyphs through Nightmare Dungeons. That you're going to get so much from this event. And you're going to need it because you're going to want to level up this new unique glyph that you can get as a reward for completing the Avatar. This glyph, the Tears of Blood, is tied to the event and is also persists during the duration of the event. But it will be incredibly useful for increasing your character power so that you can take on those tougher tiers of the Avatar. You can see that it has a larger radius than other glyphs. It can grow even beyond that. It has multiplicative powers on it, and it can be leveled up to 200 times.
What?
So it is still a capped level, but it has a lot of progression in it.
Awesome. Lots of stuff coming here. December 5th. We got the Occultist updates and Avatar Zero, which is the end game that we just talked about that. And that will run through the end of Season 2. So players can expect, to be able to go through that starting on December 5th, which is great to hear. But we also have even more events in December that we do want to talk about. One that's a little bit more festive. We mentioned it yesterday. Kaylee, I know you want to talk a little bit about Midwinter Blight.
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't live in California, this time of year can be darkening and colder. You might get snow or lots of rain.
Like where I'm from.
Yeah, where you're from, basically. You're going to need the winter clothing. As you return to Fractured Peaks on December 12th, where the Midwinter Blight is taking place. As you return, you're going to find that it's been enveloped in a storm. It's freezing out the locals. It's eternally dark, and there are new horrors lurking, waiting to, make your lives and the.
Give me 1 second.
The inhabitants miserable. So yeah, I hope you brought some ice scrapers with you. Maybe help us get out here.
Yeah, we're working on a special Diablo ice scraper. Reaching out to John Mueller to see if we can get that marketed as soon as we can.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So it's going to start in Kyovashad, and you're going to meet Gillian, a wandering bard, and he's here to try and bring some cheer and warmth, which you can see in the video as we go to that. And he is located in the Hibernal Square. And he's giving as well a warning of the storm and the terrors lurking within. And as you can see, this is a classic Diablo holiday space, decorated mostly in skulls, which we find very festive on the team, personally. Yes, and at its center we have the Totem of Midwinter, which plays a part in the event itself, but I'm not going to spoil that, and we'll kind of go into that. So what's happening outside Kyovashad? You're going to head back out into Fractured Peaks, you're going to explore the zone, and you're going to encounter some sinister snowmen, or what demons consider snowmen, that we're calling Frigid Husks, which, yes, they're beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful. I will note, and I don't actually know if Rod Ferguson, our GM, is here. He is making me insert this wonderful pun.
It's all Rod.
He was like, as soon as he saw him, so Rod Ferguson, trademark pun, Frosty the Goat Man is what he likes to call
I
these.
thought you were
yes.
meant to sing that.
You know.
No, we're not going to. Okay, no, we're
gonna
nixing
sing
the
it, yeah.
singing. No singing. Okay. All right, so who's building these? I mentioned demons, so you're going to see some familiar faces, but they're under a new allegiance. These Blight Fiends have new tricks, new ways to terrorize and harass both you and the locals. And they're just generally causing mischief and terror under the orders of their leader, who is the Red-Cloaked Horror. He lives in the darkest corners of Fractured Peaks, emerging only with the storm. And he is going to, you know, be really, really mad at anyone disrupting his plans, and he's going to try and make you dead. I think he looks really jolly, personally. I'm a big fan.
Again, another
Looks
Rod
cool.
Ferguson pun.
Here we go.
And this one I will sing.
Oh,
I will.
okay.
New
Be
enemies.
the Red Cloak Terror.
Oh, God.
There we go. All right.
Oh.
Leaving now. We're
But
done.
he doesn't even have a nose.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I know. Rod has the worst puns. We know that.
Okay,
So.
all right. So what are you going to be doing? You're going to be heading out into Fractured Peaks. So we're going to bring up a video of some of the kind of gameplay a little bit here. You're going to encounter the Blight Fiends, having a really jolly time.
They are
You know,
so
they
cute.
are. They are.
This is the cutest little, like,
Yeah. Well,
We
we're
need
going to
them to
ruin their
Can you murder
day.
them?
Yes, exactly.
Snow globe of people.
Murder, destroy those snowmen. And you're going to engage in a number of events unique to Midwinter Blight, destroy Frigid Husks, defeat the Blight Fiends. And if you disrupt things enough, you may end up summoning the Red-Cloaked Horror himself, who's, as I said, very annoyed at you. And participating in these is going to give you resources that you can take back to the Hibernal Square to progress the event. And yeah.
And some rewards.
Right, the rewards, because what's a festive event without presents and gifts and, you know, things in general? So we have a number of new cosmetic rewards that you'll be able to earn through participating on the event itself. So these are selection of weapons, and then we also have some really cool back trophies. I really like them. They've got bells, and there's some wreaths and lots of skulls, because we do like that here. We have a theme, and we're going to stick to it. So this starts on December 12th. Really hope everyone comes and slays with us.
There we
There
go.
you go. Got
a
one
Kaylee
in.
pun.
There we go. Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
They
So,
clap for it. Good.
no, I was not expecting that, actually. But yeah, so yeah, that's Midwinter Blight.
Awesome. It's great to hear more information about all these updates coming in. And Midwinter Blight's great because community feedback has been, we've heard a lot of people wanting more cosmetic options. And so now you have the ability of actually unlocking some skulls, some bells, some holly that you can actually incorporate to your character with Midwinter Blight. But all this information is going to be available again on a blog on Diablo4.com after the panel. And we're looking forward to getting all these updates in everyone's hands for Abattoir Zir, the Occultist updates, and of course Midwinter Blight. But moving on, we do have additional information to talk about Season of the Orange Text, as you called it.
That's right.
Joe. So Joe, can you tell us a little bit more about what's coming there?
Yeah, so more endgame.
More in-game.
Yeah. This is such a cool piece. This is relevant to the season, and I'm excited to find out what happens with this guy. But I want to talk a little bit about one part of season 3, and there will be many more parts of season 3. We're going to talk about these more in future Campfire chats. But we wanted to talk a little bit about leaderboards, leaderboard-driven trials.
He wants it.
This guy wants
Okay,
it,
over
and so
there.
we're going to make it.
Thanks, guy.
We weren't going to make it, but. And so the way this is going to work is when Season 3 players reach World Tier 4, they're going to be able to compete in the Gauntlet, which is a fixed seed, non-linear dungeon where your mastery and your skill are going to be needed to achieve the highest scores. And those best scores are going to appear on the leaderboards. Now, every time you enter the Gauntlet, it's going to be exactly the same. That means the monsters and their positions, the layouts, the affixes. And because it's non-linear, you have some choices about how you're going to progress through to maximize your score. And of course, if you're playing in a party, you can choose like which direction each party member is going to go, and you really have an opportunity to optimize it. Loot will drop at the end of the timer, so you don't have to worry about picking it up on the way. And as you're killing monsters and you're opening chests, you're going to get instead these pickups called Proofs of Might. They drop from all of this types of content, and you'll have a limited amount of time to collect as many as possible to maximize your score. So at the beginning of each week, a new gauntlet is going to replace the current one, and the leaderboards will reset. Now, this is an image of the solo barbarian ladder we can see here. I want to caution that it is in development content, so some things may change by the time we get to season 3, but we wanted to show off, to really give all of you an idea, a visual idea of like how this is going to play out. And you can also see on this next image that we have a number of filters. So there are solo leaderboards for each class, as well as party leaderboards that vary with party size.
2, 3, and 4.
And then when you look at the leaderboards, you'll be able to filter them globally or by platform. You can filter by your friends or your clan.
So I know I'm better than Brown.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm right here. You don't have to talk to me. If you played Barb, you would be able to.
ooh.
It's fair. Necros are better.
That's why we
all
have
know
the
it.
Barb leaderboard. So, I mentioned that these leaderboards will reset every week, but the very best players from each week's leaderboard are going to be recorded in the Hall of Ancients. This is a permanent leaderboard that will cement their legacy. And you don't just have to be the very top ranking on the leaderboards to participate in the Gauntlet. All World Tier 4 players will be able to take their shot at participating in the Gauntlet and progressing to the leaderboard.
So that means you don't have to be level 100 to participate at all.
No, you don't. In fact, if you look at this wonderful UI that we have up here, you can see that as you're leveling up and competing in the Gauntlet and getting higher and higher score, you'll earn these seals. And as you are earning these seals, you'll be able to climb up until eventually you get to the Seal of the Worthy, and then you'll be able to jump into the leaderboard. And you can show these off on your character profile and game.
Awesome. Very cool. And then I know with leaderboards, that coming in season 3, with all the information that we've been sharing here, again, I'm just reminding everyone that you can end up checking all this out on the site afterwards. We'll have all the artwork up there. And of course, all the information that we provided even on the expansion stuff will end up being there. And I just want to remind everyone in the community that thanks to you guys and the feedback that we've actually gotten in for Diablo 4, we've been able to, we were able to get all these amazing changes in. So providing that feedback through our forums, through social media, through Reddit, wherever you post at, let us know. Even here at BlizzCon, it's a huge help for the whole entire team. So thank you guys again. Thank you, Diablo community, for making the game a better experience for everyone. I know we do have some time for Q&A as well. We did leave a question box out in Hall A, which is the Diablo Hall here at BlizzCon. And then, of course, we asked on social media for questions through our fans that could not attend BlizzCon. But we grabbed the ones that seem to be pretty regular repeats specifically. So we'll kind of just jump right in on them. The first question, I think this one would be good for Kaylee. Will there be more intermediate progression dungeons and bosses between Tier 4 and Uber Lilith?
Yeah, so we had this question a bit, and the short answer is yes. We've already started doing this with the boss ladder, Uber Duriel, and we're looking for even more opportunities with which to give everybody things to tackle as they're working their way towards Uber Lilith, as well as, things for people to pursue once they defeat Uber Lilith. So yes, and as we develop those, we will share more information, probably in more Campfire chats or on Diablo4.com.
Awesome, thank you, Kaylee. This one's an expansion question.
Okay.
So, Brent, I will give this over to you. Will there be a season journey when expansion launches?
Yeah, we know we have a large community with players who like to play in a bunch of different styles. So when Vessel of Hatred launches, we're going to have stuff for Eternal players. We're going to have seasonal content. We're going to have people who want to continue to play vanilla, people who want to jump into the expansion. Basically, we're going to have something for everybody to have fun with.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you, Brent. Tiffany, this one for you. Will we have a system to save and switch between builds? A very popular question.
Very popular question.
So the reason Adam says this is a great question for me is because I ask Joe this all the time. It's something I'm also very, very passionate, myself and lots of the development team and lots of the community is very passionate about. So for those of you that played Diablo 3 are very familiar with the Armory. This is something that we brought to the game in patch 2.5. And so we've been talking about it for a very long time. There's so many different things, so many activities, there's so much room for activities in Sanctuary, and so many different things to be doing, whether you're playing by yourself, playing with a group, PvP, et cetera, et cetera. There's Paragon board customization, there's build customization, there's outfit customization, what gear you're wearing. So we want to be able to have an easy way to switch between those so you can keep playing and keep, min-maxing all of your experiences while you're in the game. So we have nothing to announce in terms of when it's coming, but it's something that we're talking about all the time and hoping to bring to Diablo 4 as soon as we possibly can.
Awesome. I know it's a thing that a lot of people in the community have been asking for, and being able to switch between different builds and everything and have that saved. It's something that the team most definitely is working on.
I'm surprised they never thought about that.
From someone who's actually attending here at BlizzCon
Making
and is
the
actually a content
game.
creator, was in our opening ceremony as
in
well.
the opening ceremony
was
reel.
from Don the Crown, and I think he actually made like a decision to come to BlizzCon like 24 hours before BlizzCon started.
So he could be here right now.
He could be here right
I just
now.
really
but
wanted to ask this question.
yes, exactly. But I will say this question also came from a lot of people. But Don the Crown asked, do you intend to add more sources of living steel to the game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that grinning demon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's, that particular summoning material, we've certainly heard and experienced doing Helltides. Feels much more stingy than the other summoning materials. And so we want to make some improvements there. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so expect improvements coming down the pipe for that. And by the way, I just want to thank everyone for not putting your names in the box, because I would have completely screwed up half the names in there, as I normally do. So I appreciate people who do not put their names on there. You're the best. Last thing I need to do is butcher that in front of like 5,000 people. Will the expansion feature a group finder or global chats? As social features, I know we've heard a lot of questions about Brent.
Yeah. Social's a really big part of the game, and we see what everybody's doing with how they're leveraging trade chat to kind of work around some things. Our social team finds this incredibly important, right? Like, we got a lot of different ways to play the game, and we want to make sure that all of your communities can find each other and come together. And so we actually have to really get some tools in there to get to that point where everybody has a really smooth social experience. And so our goal is to make sure
You
that
also
we
don't
get,
have that?
as many of those tools in
Wow.
place before we actually get to the expansion.
Yeah, and I really want to make a special call out to, we have an entire part of our team who are focused on social and the player experience, and they are so dedicated and so enthusiastic and are just amazing people to work with, and they're paying attention to the things that everybody's talking about and need and trying to figure out the best plan to get those kind of things to you in the best time frame.
Awesome. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Kaylee. And then we have a kind of a last question here. This is from Knox. wherever you are here at BlizzCon. What are your plans? There we go.
There he
We
is.
found him. What are your plans for itemization moving forward? A very, very popular question.
All right. Well,
The question.
The question for Joe Shelley.
Yes.
do we have a panel after this, or? No, this is a very serious and important question, right? And while we're not ready to share all of the plans for itemization that we have going forward, the team is working on the problems that we see with itemization right now, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of this spec. The team is working. The team is working in the future. Next expansion, next season, next this, next that. We are looking into it. Expect this in the future. I'm not a fan. I don't enjoy that. It's not cool. Being like later. We're thinking about it. We're doing this. I don't fucking know, man. I'm not. This shit is lame. To be honest.
I think I was watching, what was that, Carbot video, I think,
Oh, yeah.
recently. And
Shout out to Carbot. Love his
you
anime.
get, the character gets 2 items, and they're trying to compare it, and pulls out his sort of monocle, and he's going through it. It's too difficult right now to compare items. It takes a lot of time, and we want to make that better. We also want there are some affixes that are very conditional or have several layers of conditionality. Sometimes this gets, shorthand for this is the damage on Tuesdays, right? Like, yeah, really good on, it's a couple days from now, it'll be incredible. But we think that there are too many of those that have really complicated conditional effects, and it's really hard to bring those into builds, and it contributes, as Kaylee was saying earlier, to a feeling of having it be very difficult to customize your items in a way that lets you get exactly the affixes that you want on your build.
Get
So
that
that's
build you're looking for, you know?
exactly. So that's something that we want to review. We also know that when you are optimizing your gear, the goal of that is to have the effect be that you feel that power. So you are customizing your gear, and then you go out and you want to be able to visually tell immediately, like, yeah, this made a difference, right? And then, of course, we also want to add more ways to modify items and add on additional complexity to items, through, this is often talked about in the context of crafting, right? Better ways to modify items in that way, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know I'm going to throw another question at you, though, because there has been a lot of talk about the amount of aspects that are within the game. And so, do we have any plans on what we like for aspects specifically?
Yeah, so it's going to take us a little bit of time to get this right. Probably won't see it in season 3, but soon after that.
There we go again.
But we want to get the aspect crystals out of your inventory and into the Codex
In the
of Power.
future. Later.
I think they agree with that. I think they quite like that.
I'm glad. We're starting work on it right now, so we'd have to go back. But no, the Codex of Power is really a great repository of all of the legendary powers, or it should be, we think. And there are lots of opportunities for upgrading it or bringing affixes that you found, and we just really want to make that better, yeah.
Great, that's awesome to hear. I know a lot of people are excited to have an area where all their aspects are, as opposed to, where we are right now with collecting everything for aspects and having your inventory kind of running back to the stash and putting them all in there and everything. So there we have it for the Diablo 4 Campfire chat. We do have a lot of awesome things coming down the road. And I do want to remind everyone that, this Tuesday, we have an update with 5 new Malignant rings that will be hitting the game. You can farm Varshan to earn those rings specifically. And those rings are in Eternal and Seasonal, which is great to hear as well. And then, of course, on December 5th, we have our Abattoir of Zir.
Yeah.
Google Abattoir if you don't know what that is. I did.
It's a slaughterhouse.
It's a slaughterhouse.
Yeah,
Cultured Adam. And then we also have cultist updates hitting on December
Yeah.
5th. And of course, December 12th, we have our first holiday event hitting Diablo 4, which is Midwinter Blight, where players can actually end up earning a ton of different new cosmetics. You know, dress your character up in some bells, some wreaths, holly,
Get very
etc.
festive. Yeah.
Exactly, get very festive. I did want to remind everyone that we do have a Diablo Blood drive that is currently running. If you go to diablobloodharvest.com, currently the community is at 73% to the goal. Once we hit 100%,
Good job, everyone.
everyone gets some
Yeah.
rewards. Good job.
Great cause as well.
It's for an awesome cause. You know, we're aiming to have 666 quarts of blood
Of
donated.
course we
So
are.
of course, gotta stay with the theme. So make sure to check out the site for more information. Panelists,
Yeah,
do
we
you
just
have any
wanted to
parting
say
words?
thank you for coming to BlizzCon and watching online. We love Diablo and we love you.
I can't wait to get back in front of everybody here and have more to talk about with the expansion in the future. So I look forward to seeing you all in Sanctuary.
You know, I just want to thank all of our passionate players, and you know, we listen to everything that you're saying, and it's been so awesome to reveal Season of Blood and be able to bring some of those changes back, and then to come here and to be able to tell you about all the things that are more things that are coming in Season of Blood and in future seasons and in Vessel of Hatred.
Yeah, Jerome. Yeah,
future,
I just
in
wanna
the
say thank you,
future,
everyone,
in
for
the
making this an
future.
amazing experience to be
Later.
up here. Also, hi, Mum and Dad, surprise. Yes, I'm on the panel. I didn't tell them. But I mostly want to call out our amazing team, who many of them are working here at BlizzCon, who you may have met down in Hall A, they're doing signing, and everyone who's is actually still back at the office, or, well, would be, it's the weekend, they're not working. But everyone across all the spaces that we have and across the team in general.
Awesome. And I just want to thank everyone here. Thank you guys, everyone here, everyone at home. We hope you guys have had a wonderful BlizzCon. We're so happy to have you here, and we hope you guys come see us while BlizzCon's still going on for the rest of the day. And we'll see you in the next Campfire Chat. We'll have more Campfire Chats this year. And have an amazing BlizzCon, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you in Sanctuary.
Thank you.
Okay. That was okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not a fan of expecting later in the future and shit like that, but hey, at least they're working on it.